Hi Divas. Today I'm going to show you how I'm making some of the things I'm doing for Easter. Basically this first one is a cross, and it was from a dollar store item. Basically they come in these little cross shapes. They come in bug shapes, cross shapes, different kinds of things, and they're plain wood. So what I do is I sand them off a bit, just a little bit, with the fine grit sandpaper or some steel wool, and then I either put first a glue base on it or 2 coats of white paint on top of the glue base, and that's the way I start it. And then I take the cross, okay, and what I do is, I'm hoping you can see it, at the top and the bottom and each side I make a little hash mark right at the center of where those little bulbs are, and then I take a ruler and connect the dots, and I need to get the center of each of these nearly dead on. Okay, so far I've got the cross with the with that in the middle. Right. The next thing I do is I make a pattern. I draw around it and make a pattern so that I can play with the different gems and things that I have, the leftover gems. I don't buy anything new for this. I use all leftovers. And I decided on the pattern that I liked. Okay? I went through my things and found 2 sizes of the color, a larger one and a smaller one, and I also found lots of white round drills, plain white, and I found them in lots of different colors. I had red, yellow, blue, purple, green, orange, and like a silver. So I'm going to be making them different shades. Alright, so that was the next thing I do. I pick it out, and then on here I would decide, okay, what I want in the middle. I wanted a center, and for this one, the centers I'm using right now, I mean, and every time I do them it could be different. The centers I'm using right now are these little gold teardrops. Alright, so once I've decided on the color, the next thing I'm going to do is use the bigger ones. On this one especially, it came out perfect to put the 3 dots in each side. But I left room, let me use this so I don't mark it up. I left room around each one to put a row of white dots. Alright, around each one. And I put the gold teardrop in the center. Alright, so that's that one. Then next I took the second size, the smaller size, and ran a straight line this way and this way. Oh, I forgot to say what glue I used. That would help, wouldn't it? Right now I'm using an E6000 gel. It's called Extreme Tack, and what I like about it is it doesn't smell, and it is very, very tacky, but it lets things slide around a bit. Okay, it lets things slide for a while. It stays gooey and rubbery. That's kind of a bonus and a detriment, and I'll show you why. I do this so that I can keep the goop down toward the end and I don't have to push so hard. Okay, so that's the glue. I lay down a bead of glue, little dots underneath here. Oh, it says you can make your own glue dots out of this. You know, you never know. I might do that someday. And then I stick on these. Now, I did this yesterday and the glue is still gummy. So it's going to be, okay, after I glue on those, and I do this one right after each other. I don't wait in between. Then what I do is I take the white dots, and I'm going to bring you in even closer for this. And I use my my wax stick with my squishy on the end to keep my hands from hurting. I really want you in on this. The first thing I do is put a row of the white around the big ones at the end, making sure I get in between here. Now at the very top there is a hole, and I make sure I keep the hole clear, because I might want to either put a magnet over top of it, or I might want to put a string through it. I'm not sure. Okay. I start there. The very first thing I start is one white dot in each of the centers. It covers over the rest of the pencil mark, and it gives me something to work from. Then I do the rounds all the way around. The next step is I start a line, one line of the whites down on this edge, and then I put the two lines on each edge. I'll do one line all the way around, and then I'll go through and do a second line. If it needs it, sometimes on this side I need an extra one line underneath the brace here. I don't know why, but it needed it on top of this one. It's either on top or bottom. See how I have a third line? 1, 2, 3. This one's finished, and it's still kind of gooey around the edges. Alright, so let me pull this back. It's still kind of gooey around the edges. Now you can do this type of technique with any woodcut. I'm just happening to do the crosses because it's close to Easter. It's during Lent, and I know that I can gift these. I can give these as gifts for this Easter. So that's why I'm making these. I have other ones that I will show you in just a moment. I also want to tell you that to reduce the stickiness on here, you could put white powder, just talcum powder, on it, and that will stick to the extra parts of the glue and get rid of it. You could use your sealer, your diamond painting sealer, on it. I use the polyacrylic Minwax, and I could use that on it, and that would seal it up real well. You can also use mica powder, pearl white mica powder. This comes from Fire Dots, and you can take a little bit of the mica powder with a toothbrush and just sort of scrape it all over it, and that will stick to it. Personally, I think the white powder is easiest, and then if I'm doing a whole bunch, I will polyacrylic them, and that will definitely take away the sticky and keep the shine as well, and it will keep the drills in place. All right. Let me know if you decide to do any of these projects. I would really love to see what you come up with, and what your process was like. Did you change anything? Did you come up with something better than mine? How did you do it? How did you like the process? I'm eager to hear. If you'd like to see me work on them a bit, what I'm going to do is finish this one so that I have at least 2 finished now. Putting the bead of glue in. I'll just turn on the music and you can work along with me if you'd like. Glue really wants to come out fast.